Welcome dear students. In this lecture I will cover up the rest of the functions of mouse programming. So I have named it as a part 2 mouse programming in Turbo C. In the previous lecture I have covered up number of services that are or functionalities that are offered by the mouse. So giving the value AX register as 0, you can find out the whether the mouse is initialized or not. So you have to detect the mouse. So it returns values 0 if support is not available, and if support is available then it returns FFF in hexadecimal value. So we have already done that. When AX value is set to 1, we can work with the function. We can show the mouse pointer on the screen. Okay. So simply to show the mouse pointer on the screen, we make use of this service, that is AX is equal to 1. We were also able to hide the mouse pointer using the service AX is equal to 2. So the declaration of these functions we have already done. Okay, and with the help of a program, I have shown you how these functions work. Okay, and we are done with this, that we can restrict the mouse pointer within a specified region, within a specified rectangular region, setting up the horizontal limit and setting up the vertical limit by using or by setting AX service AX is equal to 7 and AX is equal to 8. To set horizontal limit, we use AX is equal to 7. To set vertical limit, we use AX is equal to 8. So to restrict the mouse pointer, we have already defined a function, and we call these functions in the main as per our requirement and use within our program. Okay. So what we are left with, the two services that are offered by the mouse. One is AX is equal to 4 and another one is AX is equal to 3. So with first I will discuss about AX is equal to 3 service. So what it offered, what it is offering you to deal with the mouse. Okay, so as it is written here, that is mouse button press. We can check with this service which button of the mouse is pressed. Okay, so if when we are checking it, so it will return the button status, that is BX. So BX is the register that will hold the status of the button, status of the button. Okay, whether no key is pressed, whether left button is pressed, whether right button is pressed, whether the center button or middle button is pressed. Okay, another two things we can also identify, or we can also get the position of the mouse with this service. We can also get the position of the mouse using this service. So it returns you three things. One is the status of the button with the help of a BX register. Okay, and the position using two other registers that are called CX and DX. So CX and DX holds the position value in terms of and X and Y. So at this location, what is the status? At this location, what is the status of the button? Whether no button is pressed, let's say this is the position and I have placed a pointer over here. So at this position, with the help of ax is equal to 3 service, I can get what is the status of the button at this location. So we can get what is the location and which button is pressed. Okay, if I have not pressed any button, so bx will return 0. Okay, and it will also return the x and y value of that location that is in that is stored in cx and dx register. So we can capture three things using, or I should say two things, using ax is equal to 3 service. One is the status of the button and another one is the position of the button. Okay, let's elaborate it further. Okay, so now we are just simply discussing other two services, that ax is equal to 3 and ax is equal to 4. So I will cover ax is equal to 3. So when we use ax is equal to 3 service and invoke mouse interrupt, so mouse interrupt is what? That is int 86. Okay, with this we pass the 0x33. Okay, and the pointer to the input and the address to the output. Okay, so this is what we pass. So interrupt is generated. So we use this service and invoke the mouse interrupt. So this subfunction returns button press information in bx register. Okay, so entire button press information is stored in first 3 bit of the bx register. So it is a 3-bit value, that is 3-bit bx register. So any value can be set up to identify which button has been pressed. So there are conditions given. If the first bit value is 1, then the left button is pressed. So if this is the 1 value, rest of them are 0. So what it tells you about that, the left button of your mouse is pressed. Okay, so if the second bit value is 1, if second bit value is 1, then it is for right button is pressed. Okay, and if the third bit value is set to 1, then the middle button or center button is pressed. So you have handled the mouse, you might have seen a mouse that is having the right button, left button, and the middle button within a mouse. But when you are working with a touchpad, you will be having two buttons, that will be right and left. So when the two buttons are pressed together of your touchpad, that is left and right together, then it will serve as your middle button. So if you will be programming, so if you will be programming, okay, so this was all about your 3-bit VX register. When we can also press the middle button in a touchpad, when both buttons are pressed together, then in a touchpad it will be treated as a middle button. Other conditions also exist beside these three. So when we are dealing with the 3-bit, so 3 bits can have the combination that can range from all zeros to all ones, and other combination will sit in between these two combinations. This is the lowest combination, this is the highest combination. Okay, so when we talk about the 3-bit combinations, you can see when all the bits are set to 0 means left, all the bits are set to 0 means no button is pressed. Okay, and if the left button is pressed, then this bit will be set to 1. So it will return the integer value. This is a bit combination, this is the decimal value, this is the decimal value of this combination. So when we are talking about 001, so 2 raised power 0, 2 raised power 1 and 2 raised power 2, that will make up 1. Okay, so when the right button is pressed, so middle bit will be set to 1 and other will be set to 0, and the value for this will be returned as 2. That is the decimal value of this bit combination. So right button is pressed. Likewise, when we are talking about this, so 2 raised power 2, 2 raised power 1, 2 raised power 0. Okay, so this combination, and if the this bit position is set to 1, then it means the middle button is pressed and the decimal value returned as 4. Okay, beside this 4 combinations, we can have other 3 combinations, other 4 combinations too. That is when we can press middle and left buttons accordingly. Okay, so you can see 2 raised power 2 and 2 raised power 0 will be set as, it will be the 5 value, the decimal value is 5 will be returned, and it will be indicating that when the middle and left button are pressed. So using the BX register, we can have the button status, that which button is pressed. Okay, so whenever we are using AX is equal to 3 service, it will return the button status when it is pressed or when it is not pressed, and which button is pressed. Okay, so likewise we have other combinations. It shows middle and right is pressed, right are pressed, and middle and this one is left, not right. Okay, make it left. Left button is, the left button are pressed when all three means middle, right, left, all the 3 buttons are pressed together. Okay, so these combinations exist. Now let's see with the help of code. Now next thing that I will discuss about mouse position. So same service, that is AX is equal to 3, will allow us to get the position of the mouse pointer. For example, if I place the mouse here, so what is the X and Y coordinate of this position? If I take my mouse over here, then what is the position of X and Y? Okay, so this will be returned by with this service. Whenever I'm moving a mouse across over the screen, so wherever I'll take the mouse, it will return the position of that mouse, and it will be held by the register CX and DX, that will be holding the value of X and Y. Okay, so this is another service or another thing that is returned by this service, that is AX is equal to 3. Okay, let us understand this code. So a function is written get mouse status. Okay, 2 variables are declared in it, X and Y, to hold the X and Y value returned by your CX and DX. Okay, so here the function is interrupt is generated, that is 0x ampersand in and out. So this service will be used. Okay, now here I'm trying to say that if the button status is 1, is equal to 1 means which button is pressed? That is left. Okay, so that is left button is pressed. If the button is left is pressed, then give the value of x and y, that is out.x dx. So it is giving the value of x, cx hold the value of x, and dx holds the value of y. Okay, so cx hold the value of x and dx hold the value of y. So I am, after this I am printing it with the that the left button is pressed and what is the value of x and what is the value of y. Okay, that is x and y is as an output. Okay, that is received by this. Wherever I will press this left button, okay, wherever I will press the left button, wherever I will press the left button, it will give, it will return the cx and dx into x and y, and it will print the x value and y value. So with the help of this out.x.dx, we are handling the status of the button. Okay, so here we are checking the left button is pressed. So description wise, that is get mouse position, another function is written, the pointer is declared, that is x and y and in button. So button will be holding the button status, it will be holding the two parameters, that is x and y value. Service is given, ex is equal to 3, interrupt is generated. Okay, so this is the pointer value that can be passed to this function when I will be using this function in main get mouse position, and I will be writing it as ampersand. Let's say this is the one variable x. Okay, x1, x2 or y1. Okay, and button in ampersand button. Okay, so in this manner I can use this function within a main when I have declared this function using pointer values, that is pointing to the button status, this is pointing to the y address, this is pointing to the x address of the mouse, that is the position, this is the button status. Okay, so button status, that is button will be holding the button status. This in this bx register you are giving an output to the button pointer, and it will be used in the function that is called in the main. Fine. So another feature of the mouse handling is set mouse position. We can set the mouse position wherever we require. Okay, so that in certain programs it may be needed that you want to position the mouse on a specified location. Okay, so in such cases you can explicitly set the mouse position whenever it is required, and you can call that function to set the mouse position. It is quite similar to that of a keyboard cursor, using setting of a keyboard cursor on a particular location using go to xy. Okay, so this we use same service, that is ax is equal to 4 service, and invoke mouse interrupt to set the position of the mouse pointer. So here we use the ax is equal to 4 service for to set the mouse position. Okay, so in the example it is given, let's set the mouse pointer to a location 400 or 200 position on the screen. So the function is written, that is in ax will be the service, is the service, and cx will be holding 150, dx will be holding your 100. So this is x value and y value. Whenever this function will be called, the pointer will move to this location, that is 150 to 100. So whenever you want to change or set the mouse position at a different location in your programming, okay, in your program, then you can call this function to set the mouse pointer on a specified location. Okay, so this function is used to set the mouse position. So this was all about the theoretical part of your mouse handling. Particularly, I have covered in this lecture, that is the two services, that is ax is equal to 3 and ax is equal to 4. Is ax is equal to 3 is for setting the setting the button is finding out the status of the button pressed and finding the location where the button has been pressed. Okay, and another service is ax is equal to 4, where we are able to set the mouse position on a specified location. Now let's see, with the help of a program that will allow us to understand in a better way the functioning of these services. Let's okay, now again we will go through one program that we have already done with detecting a mouse. Okay, we have showed we have used the show mouse pointer in text mode as well as the graphics mode. We were able to hide the mouse pointer and we were able to restrict the mouse pointer. Okay, now the next function that is created, that is get mouse position. Okay, in this function I'm trying to say that I'm doing this till the time keyboard hit is not done. So this function will perform its task until the keyboard is any key of the keyboard is not pressed. Okay, so a variable is declared, that is integer x and y. Okay, and we are using a service ax is equal to 3, means here we are going to get the mouse position and check the button status pressed, and we will try to do certain activity as we do in the mouse handling. We can click on a specified area and certain action is performed. Okay, so let me do one thing. First of all, make it a comment step by step. Show mouse. We will show the detect. We will detect the mouse. We will show the mouse. Okay, and we will get the mouse position. Okay, this is the only code I'm going to run. That is ax is equal to 3 service. Interrupt is generated. The interrupt is invoked, and I'm not going to check right now the button status. Okay, with the interrupt I'm going to get the value of cx wherever I move the mouse, and the value of dx in x and y. So means this will return the x and y value into x and y, and I'm going to print it out. Okay, so for the time being I'm not writing over here left. I will simply get the x and y coordinate wherever I will move the mouse. Okay, so it is easy to understand. Compile. Okay, see, so it is moving where I am taking mouse, it is giving. Let's put amount of delay, because it is written here, that is otherwise due to quick response 100s of words will get print, means it is the mouse is a very quick response, so that is why delay is placed. Okay, here you can see wherever I am taking mouse, delay of See, okay, here you can see whenever I'm pointing a mouse at any location. For example, if I placed it on a near about 0, 0, okay, so here you can see the values are changing. With the movement of a mouse, the mouse position is generated. Fast. Okay, so if we put more delay into it, fine. So let now get the status button press. Now if I'm getting now this activity, what I did right now without using dx, I have not received the output of a button pressed. So I have just, when I was running this program, it was simply giving the output of x and y. Okay, now I'm restricting it with the press of a button. When I will press a button, okay, and that should be left, then this task should be done. Okay, so I have written, for example, left over here. Okay, so what it is going to do, it is going to check the status of the button, and with the status of the button it is going to do this work. That is, it is going to get the cx value, it is going to get the dx value in x and y and print those values. Okay, you have too much delay in it. Okay, so this is the when the button is pressed. Let's make it delays too much. Okay, now see, mouse was successfully initialized. Fine. Now if I press a right button, left button, okay, whenever I'm pressing a left button, okay, so this activity is performed. It is showing the cursor. See, if I go to the 0, 0, see, x and y 0, 0 is shown. Okay, so response is very quick. That is why the complete screen is filled. Okay, so this is the case. If I go to the last value of it, I think somewhere around this one. See, okay, so we are getting the button status, that is left button is pressed. If I'm pressing right, no activity. Middle is pressed, no activity. Okay, I hope you are able to understand this concept. We have received the button status and the activity is done. Let's With the press of the button, let's draw a circle. Okay, if I get the status left with the left of the button, I'm drawing a certain figure. Okay, when I will press a left button, it will show you the coordinate values as well as the circle drawn at a specified location. You can see. Okay, let's increase the delay. Okay, let's go with this program. If ax is equal to 3 and we are done with the, now see, the it was misbehaving, the program was misbehaving actually, that's why I have to look into it once again to rectify the problem. So the delay values was not set correctly and it was outside the parenthesis, so it was, now it is set to 100. No, I think it should work fine. Now, once again, let's see the idea of this. I no, I'm using the service ex is equal to 3 and I'm not getting the status of the button right now. I'm just simply saying that if I take a mouse anywhere on the screen, it must show the x and y value. So this cx dx will be holding the x and y values and it will be given as an output. Out dot x dot cx will be returned to the x integer value, y integer value, and I'm going to try to print it out. Okay, so for time being I just print it. See, so now wherever I'll take a mouse, it should fine. Now if I go with this, see, if the button status is checked, if the right button is pressed, nothing is shown, middle is pressed, nothing is shown. If I am pressing the left, then the left x and y coordinates are displayed. And if I take it to the origin of this, let's say, so that left button is pressed and it is giving the result x0. If I take to the extreme, the maximum value of it, I think it should be somewhere. Yes, quite close. Okay, so this is the case. So with this, with the help of this out.bx, we are returning the when it is set to 1. Now with the click of a left button, I want to draw the circle, or draw a circle. Okay, at the location 430 30 20 of radius 20. So with this, you can see that if I click a left button, a circle is drawn. Okay, right? So we can say that we can perform any activity within a program with a click of a button. Right? We can find out the status of the button, which button has been pressed with the help of a BX register. Okay, and we can perform certain activity. So here you can see the activity is performed to draw a circle. Likewise, you can write a big program over here, or you can set a viewport or whatever you want to with the click of a button. Okay, if the status is 1. Likewise, I have checked out for the status 2. Okay, status 2. I'm trying to say, see the program. I have checked here status 1. Now here I am checking px is equal to 2. If the button pressed is what? The right. If the right button is pressed, then find give the value of x and y, printf write this, okay, and draw the rectangle, let's say. Okay, and when the button status is 4, that is middle. Okay, when the third bit is 1. So if the button status is middle, then press the middle button is pressed, okay, and show the xi value and draw the bar. Okay. Now that is 3. If button status is 3, 3 means the left and right. Okay, 0 1 1. Okay, left and right buttons are pressed together, then this activity should have to be performed, that is draw the ellipse. Draw the ellipse. No, so draw the rectangle. Draw the ellipse. Draw the rectangle. Okay, draw the rectangle when the left and right together are pressed. Likewise, we can go for other options. We have the 6, we have the 5, we have the 7. Okay, we can go with other options also with the button status to check out which button status is pressed. Accordingly, it should perform certain activity. Okay, so here we are checking up these 4 options. Okay, let's run it. See, if I press a left button, left x and y coordinate values are present. If I change the coordinate values, I have, let's say I have taken a mouse over here and I press a right button, so right is placed and rectangle is drawn. And if I press a middle button somewhere here, the coordinate values will get changed. See, 2 times I have pressed. Okay, so middle x, this is given and the bar is displayed. Clear? So we can easily capture the button status and the mouse position of your mouse position through cx and dx and the bx. Fine. Now in programs, what we have to do, we have to perform certain activities. Means a block is given, within a block a mouse pointer should be find out where with if when a mouse is placed on a specified region, then we have to find out that certain activity has to be performed basically. Okay, like the way we do when we take out, when we click a mouse on this location, edit, then edit menu should get open. Okay, when I click search, so this is a block within this region. If a mouse is placed, then certain activity has to be performed. Otherwise, in rest of the area, the no activity should be performed. So this can be done by checking out conditions like, okay, if I'm saying that rectangle that we have drawn with a click of a button 3, that is left and right together. Okay, now with this code I am trying to make you understand that if the x is greater than 400 and x is less than 417, that I'm talking about this, that what we have is, see, we are checking that if x is greater than 400 and x is less than 470 and y is greater than 300 and y is lesser than 400, so fill ellipse should be done. Okay, so means the button status should be 3, means left and right buttons should be pressed together, first thing. And when the and the you have to be within the area of 400 and 300. Okay, so this rectangle I am drawing to show you that if I'll take a mouse within this region, this rectangle, then this fill ellipse will be drawn. Okay, okay, both, see, if I'm pressing both button together, right, left and right, only the sometimes left is pressed. Okay, that is why circle has appeared. Okay, when I press left and right together, so see what is happening. It is showing you a rectangle and this. Okay, but when I place this mouse over here between this region and I press left and right together, the ellipse should be drawn. See, left and right together, ellipse is drawn when the mouse was in this within this region. Okay, so we can restrict our mouse. We can find out the mouse location, and we can say simply that when we take up mouse within that specified region, then the activity should be performed, and that is very much useful in the graphics programming environment. Okay, I hope you are able to understand this, the concept of get mouse position and the button status, how we can achieve the button status and how we can get the mouse position and what we can do. Now with this we can also, let me share. Now with this we can say that I have a button integer. Okay, and I'm capturing out dot x dot bx. Okay, and I'm saying switch button. Okay, so button will be having any value from starting to 0 to 7. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3 according to the button pressed. Okay, and I'm saying that case 1, if one button is pressed, do this. And if case 2 means 2 button is pressed, means 1 is pressed, means left button is pressed. With this I'm saying left button is pressed, then do this. Case 2 means if I'm saying that right button is pressed, right button is pressed, then do such thing. If case 3, or I should write case 4 because it will return a 4 value here, particularly when we are talking about the middle. Okay, middle. So middle button is pressed, then do this. So in such a manner we can program. We can do the graphics programming to achieve certain activity. So I have shown you that we have a specified region. Okay, when we take up a mouse on this region, when we click it, certain activity has to be performed. Draw rectangle, triangle, polygon, or any effect, or whatever you want to, basically. Okay, so this handling of a mouse program handling will be based on your programming skills. How much skillful you are, how much you know about the logic, how you can develop your logic, different logic to implement these functions according to your application requirement. Okay, so that we are left with the last function, that is the set. Okay, that is void set. Okay, so we are using a ax is equal to 4 service in this. So this function, when we use the ax is equal to 4, we can set the cx value and dx value. Okay, interrupt is generated 0x ampersand in and out. Okay, so with this calling of this function, it will set the mouse pointer at this location whenever it is called in your program. So let's see, let's run it, and let's first of all call this function. Okay, so I just, okay, and I activate it. this mouse is set on this location. Okay, so with the click of this button, the get mouse position is working right now. Okay, and mouse pointer is with the, right now at this location. When I press enter, so mouse pointer is shifted to the specified location that I have given you as a value within set function. Okay, if I change the value and I rerun it, let's say it is 1010. Okay, so you can see the effect. Okay, and I rerun it. Okay, and I'm pressing to get mouse position is called, so it will work with the get mouse position also. And let's say I placed at this location. Okay, and get ch is there is used, so it is hold to hold the screen. If I press enter, then set function will be called. Okay, it will set to the, see, so the mouse pointer has reached to the location that is 1010. So impact of this set function is to bring or to set the mouse pointer on a specified location in your program. So I hope you are able to understand the functionality, basic functions that are involved to handle the mouse. That is AX is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7 and 8. Okay, so these services will allow you to perform different functions. Now, after set mouse, we are end up with the functions. Now I'm giving a program, that is write a program in C to demonstrate the freehand drawing using mouse function. What is freehand drawing? As we draw anything in your presentation using draw tool. So I have taken this draw tool. So this is a drawing pen. How it will draw? I will press a left button of the mouse, and I will keep on holding that left mouse, and when I start moving that mouse, it will start drawing it. Okay, till the time I'm holding the mouse, the effect of line will be shown on the screen. Okay, when I release the mouse, the activity will be terminated. Okay, so this is called the freehand drawing. Okay, so whenever I'm holding a mouse, it is drawing on a screen. So what I'm doing, I'm just getting the status of the mouse, that is left button is pressed. Okay, and I keep on getting the value of cx and dx. Okay, and from the previous x and y coordinate till the time, and when I move the mouse to a different location, that is new x and y value, a line is drawn. Okay, so we have to keep updating the mouse position from previous one to the new one, and we have to check the status, that is the left button is pressed. So till the time left button is pressed and we are moving, so we are having the new value and we are having the old value. From the old value to the new value, a line is drawn. So line function will be used in such case, that is x1, let's say y1, and x2 and y2. So x2 and y2 is the new value, x1 and y1 is the previous value. So you are going to capture this using the out dot x dot cx and out dot x to dx, and you have to check the button is first, you have to check first condition should be satisfied, that bx must be equal to 1. Okay, out dot x dot bx should be equal to 1. If this, then below to it you have to get the mouse position, that is cx dx, keep it in the previous value, draw a line, and then release. When the mouse button is released, when the bx is not equal to 1, this activity should get stopped. So this is the freehand drawing tool to draw anything on a screen using mouse function. So you have to do this task, okay, and you have to write the code and submit it. So I'll give you the deadline when you have to submit the code for this function. Thank you all.